Hi friends, this is Vince from TheProDrummer.com. This video might be one of the most important ones you watch all year. If you take to heart what I'm going to do today and what I'm going to talk about, practice some of the exercises I give you, I promise it will change your drumming and your musicality for years to come. This is something that will stick with you. This is something that you can always build upon. And this is something that is going to change your drumming life irrevocably. This is how to use a metronome. So the first thing we need to do is actually talk a little bit about what a metronome is. All a metronome is a little device that keeps time for us. It is really, really good at keeping time. Those times come in the forms of audible clicks or beeps and visuals as well. There's a lot of different metronomes you can get. You can get digital metronomes, which I recommend. You can get them on iPad, iPhone, Android, it doesn't matter, on your computer. There's plenty of great apps out there. The one that I use, my favorite, there's two of them. The developer is Frozen Ape, but the name of the app is Tempo. I think Metronome was Setlist. I will try and link it down below, or Tempo Advanced. Both of those are fantastic apps. There's free light versions and also paid versions with a few more features. They've been absolutely great to me. I think you'll find them useful as well. There's also analog metronomes. You may have seen them. They're those little triangular wooden box things with a little metal stick that goes back and forth and clicks. And all it does is click beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same idea. Digital metronome, analog metronome, they'll do exactly the same thing as far as keeping time. You can set it to any time signature you want. So it'll click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't matter. But for our purposes, we're just going to keep it simple, and it's going to click 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do we need a metronome? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The main reason is humans are absolutely terrible at perceiving time and keeping time. And there's a few reasons for that. One of the reasons is emotions and adrenaline. Depending on how much adrenaline we have in our body, time will seem to pass faster or slower. Depending on whether we're enjoying what we're doing, time will pass faster or slower. I'm sure you've all been to a dentist where it feels like you're there for 3.5 hours. Lo and behold, it's only 10 minutes, but they're scraping your teeth with a nice little metal pick. And that makes it feel like it's going a lot slower than it is. There's also times when you're really enjoying yourself. Maybe you're playing some music, maybe you're driving down the highway in a nice fast sports car, maybe you're playing golf, and it feels like, wow, where did the past 3 hours go? It felt like it was only 10, 15 minutes. Those are just two examples that illustrate how poor we actually are at perceiving time in an objective reality, basically. So a metronome's really going to help that. One little analogy that I use, if I were to ask you to build a house or build me something, say you needed to build a door frame and it needed to be 8 feet by 4 feet. That would be a really odd sized door, but let's just say it's 8 feet by 4 feet. If you need to get some wood and cut it, the first thing you would do would not be to grab a saw, start cutting away, hammering it together, and hope that that freaking thing was level and 8 feet by 4 feet. It would be really hard to tell by just eyeballing it. So you need to get out a ruler. Pull out a ruler, you mark down 4 feet, 8 feet, boom, boom, boom. You measure twice maybe, cut, and you can do that over and over and you will get consistent 8 feet pieces of wood or 2 foot, 4 foot pieces of wood, whatever I said, because you're using a device, a real simple tool, a ruler in this case, or a tape measure, to measure out those 8 feet, and each time it will be consistent. You'll always have that 8 feet piece of wood. The metronome to us is kind of like a ruler. It's kind of like a ruler in time or a tape measure in time. It will carve up that space and time into beats. Click, 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 click. And it's really good at keeping the space, the aural space in between those beats consistent. Hopefully that gives you a little idea of what a metronome is. I'm sure you guys a lot of you have used one, but I just want to be really, really clear at that. It's just a time-keeping device. And how does it measure time? Well, a metronome measures time in BPM, or beats per minute. If you set a metronome to 60 beats a minute, what that means is it will click or beep 60 times in 1 minute. The higher the number, the faster the metronome is going. If you set it to 400, it'll click 400 times in a minute. 800, it'll click 800 times in a minute. That will be much, much faster tempo than if we put it on 40 beats a minute, where it only clicks 40 times in 1 minute. Okay, now we can set that to whatever time signature we want. We can make it count to 4, 8, 16, 32, 17. It doesn't matter. What we're really concerned with is it clicking to 4 right now and then repeating that. Click, 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 click. It doesn't really matter what you set it to. It will consistently keep time for you. With that, let's pull up a metronome. Okay, so let's get a little exercise going here. I'm going to press play on it. First thing we're going to do is just clap along to beat 1. Every time beat 1 happens, we want to clap right with it, like this. Or click your sticks. 1. We don't want it not with it like that. We don't want it before. We don't want it late. We want to try and get it right with that. Okay, so that's step 1. Once you're comfortable with that you're playing right along with the metronome, what I'd like you to do is clap on beat 3 as well. Make sure you're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you have that, next step, all 4 beats. Okay, did you notice? Was I ahead? Was I behind on some of those? I was a little ahead. Ahead means I'm clapping slightly before you hear that click. Behind, I'm clapping slightly after. We want to be right with it. At least that's the goal. Maybe try not to talk during it like I'm doing. That doesn't help anything, but you get the idea. If this is particularly difficult for you, instead of trying to clap on every 4 beats, just clap for 4 beats and then rest and listen for 4 beats. Clap for 4 beats, rest and listen for 4 beats, like this. Okay? It may help you too to look at the metronome while you're playing along with it. In fact, I would suggest doing that. The more senses we can integrate into learning, the quicker we're going to learn and the stronger that our associations will be with everything. Next step, we're going to play the same exact thing with sticks. So I'm going to set the metronome to 80. First, we're going to play it on beat 1 for a little while, then beat 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to try again and play exactly with those clicks. I'd like you to play along with me. Again, it'll be helpful if you're looking at the metronome screen while you're doing this. Let's start. Here we go. So we're going to play it just quarter notes on beat 1. Here we go. Now on 1 and 3. All 4 beats. Back to 1 only. One and 3. All 4 beats. Okay, so that's a great exercise to start off with. 4 bars on beat 1, 4 bars on 1 and 3, 4 bars on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Really making sure to play it right with the metronome. So on the last bar that we're playing, or the last rotation around where we're playing on all 4 beats, we are playing quarter notes. This is where it starts to become even more important to know exactly what notes you're playing and the relation to the pulse. When I say pulse, I just mean the underlying 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't mean eighth notes or 16th notes. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes, the underlying quarter notes. It's very important that we have a strong and firm grasp on the type of notes that we're playing in relation to the pulse. I'll say that again, a third time. It's very important that we grasp the notes that we're playing and the relation they have to the pulse, especially in this next step. So we've been playing quarter notes. Now we're going to try and play eighth notes. So we're going to play quarter notes along with it, and we're just going to do it for 1 bar, and then we're going to play 1 bar of eighth notes. 1 bar of quarter notes, 1 bar of eighth notes. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Quarters. Eighth. Once you get that, we'll do 2 bars, like so. 1, 2, here we go. Cool. Now I know this is a lot. We're taking it slowly, but again, this is going to be one of the most important things you do as a drummer. It's really important for drummers to have good, consistent time and to have a grasp on when they're speeding up, when they're slowing down. There'll be times we want to speed up or slow down, but we don't want the emotions and the external stimuli around us to affect how fast or how slow we're playing. We want to have control over that. If we think back to the beginning of the lesson, how I said different emotions and adrenaline will really affect how fast we're playing and our perception of time. Imagine when you're on stage, okay? So you're on stage, you're playing, your adrenaline's really high, maybe you're a little anxious, maybe you're a little nervous, maybe you're a little excited. You've got stage lights, you've got guitars, you've got loud noises, you've got your drum set, you've got 100 things to deal with. Is the pedal in the right place? Is the seat height correct? Are the drums tuned correctly? When you're thinking about all those things, you're going to have a lot of emotions going on, and that's really going to dramatically impact your perception of time. The more you practice with the metronome and the more comfortable you get with it, that will help mitigate some of that. There'll be little tips and tricks we go over that I'd like you to do when you get on stage or when you're playing in front of people. For right now, I just want you to be aware there's a lot of external factors that will affect how you feel time, how you perceive time. Again, as humans, we're not great at perceiving time accurately. That's why we use devices like these metronomes. Okay, one more step. We're going to take that and we're going to go from quarter notes to eighth notes to 16th notes. We're going to play 2 bars each. So 2 bars of quarter notes, 2 bars of eighth notes, 2 bars of 16th notes. Really focus, make sure that you're sticking, right, left is remaining consistent. For right now, we're just alternating between rights and lefts. Here we go. Starting with quarters and eighths and 16th. 3, 4. Eighth notes. Sixteenth. Quarter. Eighth. Sixteenth. Quarter. Play along with me. Eighth. 16th. Okay? And it's as simple as that. This is going to be a lifelong process. Make sure you're always practicing with a metronome. Not always, as in every time you practice, you must be playing with a metronome, but make sure that playing with a metronome is part of your routine practice going forward. So let's take what we just learned, playing those various note rates along to the underlying pulse, that quarter note, and we're going to take it on the drum set. It is really important, though, to practice with a pad, to practice the clapping, and to practice counting. One last thing I'd like to mention. Make sure whenever you're playing, you can also count along with the metronome. This is just as important. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... Okay, we want to make sure that we're able to play and count. We want to make sure we're able to count. Again, make sure you're counting with the metronome when you're playing. Hopefully that's been a nice little introduction on how to play with a metronome, what it's used for. Let's take all we've learned so far and bring it to the kit. Okay, so let's apply what we learned with the metronome to the drums. Let's take maybe groove 2, the one that sounds like this. And play that with the metronome. Here's what it'll sound like. So the first thing I'm going to do is just play the click. When I say click, I mean metronome. Put the click on, and I'm going to play along with it so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Okay. So if that's difficult for you to do right off the bat, again, we've got a lot of stuff we're dealing with. We've got the hi-hat, snare drum, bass drum. We're keeping track of the click. We're going to add in a fill. We're thinking of all these things. We're thinking of what we're playing, what's going to fall where. It's a lot of stuff. If you need to build it up little by little, just like you did when we first learned the groove, starting with the hi-hat, adding in the bass drum, adding in the snare drum, that's totally fine. In fact, let's do that. What I'm going to do is just play quarter notes on the hi-hat with the click. I'm going to add in eighth notes. I'm going to add in the bass drum. I'm going to add in the snare drum. I may take little breaks here and there, but that's what I'm going to do more or less, and I'll kind of talk you guys through it. I'd like you to try and do this with me. So click, 80 beats a minute. First thing we want to do, find out where 1 is. Add the hi-hat. Quarters. 1, 2, 3. Eighth note. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to play it with the bass drum as well. 2, here we go. Add in that extra kick note. Snare. Okay. Once you get that, the next step, and one of the most important steps, will be adding the fill. Tempo and groove really goes haywire in transition. So when we're going from the groove to the fill or the fill to the groove, that's where people tend to speed up or slow down and their time gets a little wonky. I'm going to play that groove without a metronome. I'm going to play the fill in time. And then I'm going to do it a second time and speed up on the fill. And I want you to feel how weird and wrong that feels and how much that could really kill a really good groove. Here we go. So play correctly. 3, 4. Okay, now watch this. Definitely did not feel as good. One more time. Okay, even if you're not a musician, if you're just listening and you hear somebody jump the gun on the fill or pull back or something when they're not intending to do, it's going to throw off the groove of everything. The other people in the band are going to notice, everybody in the audience is going to notice, even though they may not know exactly what's going on. They're going to say, that felt weird. They'll feel it viscerally in their body. We don't want that. We want a nice, steady groove. That's one of the reasons playing with a metronome helps. So let's play the first fill we played a few lessons ago with the metronome every 4 bars. Same thing, but 16th notes. So again, take your time with this. You may find you need to just play the fill by itself a few times. Just play the groove by itself a few times, then put them together. Take some breaks. It's really important to do all that to get this down. But again, your goal should be able, whatever you play without a metronome, to be able to play with the metronome. If you cannot keep good time, if you're speeding up and slowing down, well, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so we really need to get time under control. That is our time, groove, feel. Those are our most important tools as drummers, so it makes sense to spend time working on it. No pun intended. All right, what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to change the tempo of the metronome a little bit just so you can get a sense of different ways to work with it. I'm going to bump the tempo up a little bit. I'll play with it, and I'm going to improvise some fills. Maybe they'll be longer than a beat, maybe not. I don't know. We'll find when I do it. But just so you know what's going on in my head, the whole time I'm keeping track of the metronome. I'm keeping track of 1, 2, 3, and 4, but also the 16th notes. Just because it's clicking 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm still keeping track of all the other notes as well. Here we go. Let's listen to it. Let's go to 100. We'll go to 105. So I'll play a few grooves for you, a few fills, so you can hear my relationship with the metronome. Okay, so again, whenever I'm playing, I'm keeping track of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm making sure I'm not speeding up or slowing down. The more you play with the metronome, when you pull the metronome away, your time should be better, okay? Just be aware of it. Be mindful of what you're practicing. Hopefully that helps. There you have it, guys. Everything you need to know to get started with playing with a metronome. Hopefully you really enjoyed learning about metronomes, what they are, what they're used for, and some simple ways to get started using them. Remember, take it slow. For some people it's a little trickier than others, but I promise you, if you follow the steps that I laid out, starting with the pad, just clapping along, clapping on 1, then 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4, moving that to sticks on a pad, and then going to the drum set. Take it slow. If you do that, I promise you, you will dominate the metronome and you will learn how to work with it, and it will serve you for many years to come. If you have any questions, like Midge, come here. Like my girl Midge has. I don't know if she'll, no, she just wants rubs here. I don't know if you can see her. Come here. Come here. Good girl. Okay. If you have any questions, I'll link Midge's info below. You can send her. She's very good at answering anything. Just kidding. If you have any questions, if you'd like to get in touch with me, Vince at TheProDrummer.com. You can find me on Instagram at TheProDrummer, or you can drop a line below. Please like, subscribe, that really helps me out. If you have any questions or if there's anything I didn't cover, feel free to let me know, or reach out to me for individualized one-on-one lessons. Also, this isn't where metronomes stop. There are numerous and numberless ways how to play with the metronomes, little games to play with them. And throughout the rest of this series here, I'll give you guys some examples, some ideas on how to work with a metronome. At first, it may be a little frustrating, but I promise you, if you stick with it, you will gain so much over people who don't practice with ones. Metronomes are not your enemy. They can be your friend, and they're definitely my friend. I love playing with them. So hopefully this has helped you out. Hopefully you've learned a few things here. Like I said, any questions, reach out to me. Until next time, talk to you later.